Hi, it's Gwendolyn from Lifestyle Sew. Get myself out. Although I'm not directly in the frame, I'm over to one side, I can see. This is I think this is the 28th. This is Wednesday, the 28th of December, 2022. Just in case this comes out, somebody watches this later on. I'm struggling a little bit. It's I haven't put a video out for a long time because I've been trying to figure out and trying to sort some things out. The best way to move forward. Now, I did this last year and the same sort of thought pattern. And that worked to a certain degree. But now I'm on to sort of like the next phase and how I'm going to work things out. It's vitally important that I get some feedback that people say, because you know I did a lot of Lutterloh sewing, and I did say in the last video that I wasn't going to do much of that, or if any of that before, because I did get a lot of kickback, but I'm not worried about the kickback at all. Everybody puts Lutterloh sewing to that, so that's immaterial to me. I'm a sewer, I'll sew what I want, so long as it's all legal. But let me just get something. Okay. Because he's been, you know, he's normally in lots of Lutterloh videos, because as soon as I start talking, he comes in the scene, don't you? Eh? He's a good boy. Everybody wants a cat like him. He's very cuddly. He's very loving. He's a lovely little boy. And but I have got a new puppy, for anybody who doesn't know that. And he's absolutely quite wild. Well, a new puppy. He's 11 months old. Not quite, but he's, I think it's February the 3rd or 5th. He's 1. But wow, that's taken a lot of attention from what I was doing. Because I retire next year, which is going to be this year coming. I meant to retire at the end of April, but I won't be doing that. I don't think I'll be doing that then, because I am also going to be putting the house on the market and moving. So there's a lot going to go on this year. So I've got a lot to think about and to do that. So I'm moving back up to Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk. Round about, I don't know. I'll put the house on the market, I don't know, March. And then let's see what happens from there. But getting back to the sewing side of things, I'm going to do varied things, a few varied things. One of the things I'm going to do is, first of all, I'd love to know what everybody else got for Christmas for their sewing things. I don't need big machines. I've got a big sewing machine, a big purchase of my Gloria Babylock, which I absolutely adore, and I adore my Benina. And yeah, I would like, you know, you'd all like to practice or have a go on other machines. But really, I am satisfied with that. And I think it's enough to get your head round. I have another faff overlocker locked away somewhere, put away somewhere. But for Christmas, I got from one of my daughters, which I asked for, a Babylock fabric guide. It's not on this. This is the plate that goes on the actual Babylock itself. So yeah, very, very simple. Lift up or lift down. What do you do? Get it around the right way. Oh yeah, lift up. Just move that along to whatever the fabric is. Your machine's here with the needle, so you can do exactly what you want. You could change those if you wanted flatter screws if you wanted, but you know, they come with it, whatever it is. Now this is a very simple device. It's like £88, hence why it was a Christmas present. It's that, in my opinion, is silly, is a silly thing. It's not you know, I do think they're pushing the boat a bit there, charging you that for that piece of metal. I really do. Considering it only slides along, comes backwards and forwards, but it's invaluable. For me, it's invaluable because it saves on a foot. Because when you use something like this, and you'd be using this in dressmaking, But when you use something like this, it can really help your sewing as you're going along. You can do all sorts of things with it. Although you think, oh, it's just a fabric guide, it isn't really just a fabric guide, because yes, the theory of it is it's guiding the fabric, but you can do, when you turn up a hem one way, you can actually turn the hem up, then flip it around and do it the other way, so you can't see what you're doing. Yeah, so I'm really pleased that I've got that. There's not many, I think there's only a few feet that I need or want for my Babylock, because I bought a lot of feet for it, so I don't need much, and I bought a table for it, so I don't need much for that to be, you know, having your tools in your, it doesn't matter whether there's sew rooms under the stairs, you know, in the front room, if you've got a cupboard or whatever it is, but having the tools to be able to do things easier. Not all feet and things make things easier, because sometimes you can do it a lot faster and easier by yourself, but majority of the feet work really well. So it's a question of choosing the right foot for the right job. Now, what I haven't got on, what I haven't got on my overlocker, I've got on my Benina. So I've got an awful lot of feet for my Benina as well. What is it, darling? What is it? What's the matter? Hey, what is it, darling? Do you want to come? You can't. I'm talking. I'm talking, darling. I'm talking. There you go. Look, clean your eyes. Yeah, so I've got everything for my Benina. Now, sewing wise this year. So if you got, sorry. So if you got, so whatever you've got for your Christmas presents, and it's sewing wise, let me know, because I do like to do, even if it's a scan and cut, because I like the scan and cut too. I do things on the scan and cut. I'm quite good on computers, and so I can do the last video I did with the scan and cut, where showing them how you do some applique and things like that. That went really quite well. Now I do have a video for, and this has got I think over, well, coming up to like 6,000 views, something like that, 5,800 or something like that views. I did a video on a printed label, fabric label, a printed fabric label. Now this can apply for anything if you want to use print on fabric. And it took, you know, like I say, it's got nearly 6,000 views because it just went viral. I'm going to drop the link for that in this video, so you can actually have a look at that. So you can use it, like I say, not just for not just for using it as a printed label. You can you know, you can do a whole poem, say, and then round the sides you could put have it in colour or something. Go on your computer, create a coloured sheet or whatever it is with colour. Go on your colour printer, and it will bring out the colours on the side that you've done. And say if you've got red and blue and green all on the sides, all in fancy that you've created, it will actually and then do black text. That's what you're going to print out on your fabric. So and then all the procedure, how to make sure that that all works, and it does work, because I've done it for years and years before I got my sewing machine. Somebody said, why on earth would you do a printed label like that for your beautiful quilt? Well, first of all, not everybody's got an embroidery machine that you can embroider these fancy labels to do, because you can't. And you need an embroidery machine to do that. And lots of quilters do not have an embroidery machine at all. So this way of doing it is an easy, fast, and the way I've explained it is very simple. So there's no, I've done it I always call it phonetically, is when you, something it's very easy to work out. So you will enjoy that if you want to watch that video. too. I don't know what's the matter with him. What is the matter? What is the matter? Okay? He's not even saying anything. Normally, at least he does is cry. You want me to get closer? Is that the problem? Do you want me to get closer? Is everything okay now? Okay. Right. So one thing I'm going to do this year, you're going to love this one. If you're a quilter, you'll love this one. I am going to do, I've had this for a while. I've got a few projects all boxed up, all ready to go. So I've got this for a while and I've only started it the other day, to be honest. So it's not something I've got to, no, sorry, I've got to move back. Let me just show you. This is called a potions quilt. Let me just, and this is something I always do. Right, so I've got myself, okay. So I always get myself a little folder and I buy these off Amazon. These little, they screw together, little tags. And I'll download a pattern and then I'll laminate it and then put it in that. So this is the Potions quilt, because you know what it's like with patterns and papers. You'll go through it and go through it and by the end it gets all thin and splits, and so this is not going to do it. So this Potions quilt, look at that. Isn't that fabulous? That's the back drawing of it. So you've got beakers and test tubes and all the rest of it. And so for the backing on this, because it's meant to be a window, really, that's meant to be a window that you look outside. So I took some, I'm going to show you. This has got a bit of material left over. This is what you're going to be seeing in the window. This is all I've got left out of cutting it all out. So these are, it's clouds and birds. I get a little piece out. I just think it's beautiful, really nice. This is Dashwood Studio. So there you go. It's all clouds and birds. Really is nice as a backing. So that is the actual backing to those test tubes. Okay. No. That's not for you. No. So let's have a look. Can you, Snow, come on, play the game. So this is a test tube that's made up. So there's a little tubey bit. So this is where the backing fabric comes in with all the birds and everything. Stop it! And yeah. And I thought I've been able to chain as I've done it. So this is part of the test tube. And so I'm not cutting them off yet because I need to I'm going to chain the bottom. So I don't cut the chain off. I'll chain all the pieces together and then flip it around and chain all the pieces together on that side. So when I actually finish this, they'll all be test tubes instead of cutting it out and then restarting the chain again. And well, that's not chaining really, is it? You want a proper chain. If you're going to do chaining, let's do chaining. So I've done that. So it's going to take a while to do it. I'm trying to get more test tubes than I actually need because I do need to make 2 quilts on that. Yeah, so I don't even know how many do we need. I haven't brought my glasses up here. Didn't think that through, did I? No, I didn't. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. So once I've done a whole load of the test tubes, I'll do a whole load of the beakers and go all the way through that until I've done the whole quilt cover, and then I'll make sure I've got another. I'm trying to do double as I go, so I have 2 quilts because I've got 2 grandsons, and that's what it's there for them. So I'm going to do it like that, and that's the plan of doing the quilting side. So that's my plan for this year, to do the quilting side. So that's going to be ongoing. I'm also going to, yes, I am going to be doing some dressmaking, hence why you know, I've got my overlocker, and you don't need an overlocker for dressmaking. You do need a sewing machine. And if you've got an overlocker facility on your sewing machine, because you'll have a foot that you will buy, then, you know, you've got that. But investing in an overlocker is, it saves you a lot of time, and it really does make that more professional finish that you need. And I like that. That's what I like. And Babylock, I like Babylock because it's very simple and it works. And the Gloria, yes, it's the high end, it's the flagship machine, but it is really worth its money. And if you go to the shows, they always give you a big discount on the machine. So I bought it at my show, I don't know, a couple of years ago now. So you do get a big discount for it, and that's what we want. And I bought lots of other feet at the show as well. Well, yeah, you probably don't know, because I put a video together about the show that I went to this year, but it didn't come out. For some unknown reason, the battery went dead. I had something wrong, so I lost all the footage on that show. And I was really disappointed in it, because I thought, such a great job showing you the actual Crystal Palace and the it's really on a hill, and you look over all London, and it's quite impressive. And the foyer is all glass roofed, and it is a very impressive place. And they have, but it's for all shows now. That's what they do. You know, it's not a house no more. That's what they do. But it was a nice big show, and it was very nice. And I bought some, I think I bought this table, the overlock table that goes with the overlock table, the table that goes with the overlock. In my opinion, it's vital. I did a year without it, and it was a bit of a struggle. When you dressmake and the material falls off the side, and it was a bit of a struggle. So I needed the table, and I also did my quilting. I did a binding on this, on a quilt, all the way around, which went perfectly fine. I'm not into show quilting. That's not my scene, because I'm not that good really to do show quilting. It's for enjoyment, it's for households, it's to give to my daughters and all the rest of it. So it's all acceptable, but it definitely isn't, you know, I wouldn't sit there for hours and do a hand binding. I'm sure lots of you don't do that either. So that is not what I'm into. But as far as dressmaking concerned, yes, I am going to do some dressmaking this year. I'm going to do a little bit of Lutterloh, some bits and pieces of Lutterloh, because I do use Lutterloh. So anyway, so I'll use Lutterloh, but I also want to do some, I think I've got some silhouette patterns from the States, you know, she's down Texas way. I can't remember where is it Houston where she's at? Silhouette patterns, I don't know. If you can remember, put it in the comments. But I do like her, and I know lots of people don't, but your service is very different. It's, you know, can be touch and go. I know I bought a pattern from her, and I used to buy like 3 at a time, because it was, you know, there's no point paying postage and packaging just for one. And they missed out one pattern out of the 5. I think I bought 4 or 5 at the time, and they missed one pattern out when I got it. Wow, that was a little bit of a hard slog getting that pattern. I emailed it. It was almost like it was my fault. I was ripping her off. So I was a little bit, I actually had to send her an email back. I'm actually not ripping you off. I literally didn't get the pattern. It's, and I can understand that, because I had a lingerie business, and I sent stuff to London and it was in a flat, and that's always dodgy when you send to flats, because there's so much thieving going on. But a woman said she didn't get it. So I said, okay. No, they haven't got it. And we had a whole load of stuff that went on backwards and forwards and blah, blah, blah. And then she turned around and said, oh, she works at a school and she'd put the school address down. But no, she didn't. Because you type in, as you all know, when you type in, it's the lingerie came up. She pressed the button. She has to put her name and address in, where she doesn't. I don't alter that name and address. She puts her name and address in, and it was sent to that name and address. And Amazon, that was it. I was on Amazon. Had to refund the money back. But Amazon were actually pretty good because they knew more or less she was, you know, they can't do anything. That's their terms and conditions, so you have to do it. But then they gave me some advertising for a month, which actually brought in that sale back in, if you like. So I was happy about that. But, you know, anyway, so silhouette patterns, you know, so that I really sort of like understood where she was coming from, thinking, you know, she's probably been down this road before. But eventually it did come. And I was obviously pleased, and I half made it up, and I got to the final thing, and you're all going to, you know, understand where I'm coming from with this. I made all the skirt bit up. I did the wrap on the top. I made it all up. And then when it came to one side, I was overlocking the edges on, not this overlocker, on my faff overlocker, overlock on the edges, and I did not notice the fabric. When I was overlocking here, this fabric had folded right over into the overlock bit, and I didn't notice at all. And I went all the way through and everything, and very pleased, and I was putting it up and thought, oh, that's all folded. Why is it? Oh my God, it took a huge chunk, I mean a huge chunk, about that big, out of it. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. They did have no, I got the fabric from the States when I was over in Connecticut, because my niece used to live there. Well, she lived in New York and she had a house also in Connecticut. So I was in Connecticut, and I do like it there. And did all my fabric shopping and came back with this fabulous, I couldn't get any more fabric. So I've still got it sitting there. But I know what I'm going to do with it. I know how I'm going to fix that. But the problem is, it won't fit me now because I've put on too much weight. So I can't finish that until I actually lose weight again, because I lost weight and now I've put it on. You know what it's like, and it's Christmas, or whatever. But that's the, you know, balance of life, isn't it? We go up and down. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. They're all the plans. So it's a bit easy. You know, I'm going to be a bit, you won't be getting a video like every week, because I can't produce a video every week with all what I've got going on. Literally, I've got to get this house ready to then go on the market. So a lot of my time will be up in that. But if you've got any ideas on what you would like to see, whether it's Lutterloh, I mean, when I say Lutterloh, what pattern in Lutterloh? You know, half the thing was last year when I was asking people, what do you like to see? What do you want to see? I really wasn't getting any feedback whatsoever. A few people did, but majority of people didn't. And I thought, and I said, you know, ring the bell. So if you ring the bell and subscribe. So most people didn't subscribe or ring the bell, but they were repeat watchers. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to subscribe. And I know people think like that, because a very close friend of mine asked me that. Does this cost me anything to subscribe? No. No, it doesn't. But I might do, I am looking into whether I do Patreon. So that might work out better. And then I might even, you know, do something like that in the future. Not now, but in the future. So that's it. So I hope to see you on the next video, and hopefully we can move along and do a bit of quilting, do a bit of sewing, and maybe put the world to right. Nothing political on this channel, by the way. So we won't do anything like that. Religion or political stuff. I don't want to be hearing what's going on in the papers. It's, no. I think everybody's got so strong views on what is right and what is wrong, and so best we leave all of that sort of stuff alone. But we have a Facebook, so please subscribe to the Facebook, and I'll see you soon. Take care.